Hello, hello. Okay, I think I'm going to start a series of episodes that are answers to questions I get from women. That's what this episode is going to be about. We're going to talk about GLP-1s and the use of those in midlife and specifically focus on, is it a tool or is it a trend? Hey, really quick interruption to this episode. If you're struggling to lose weight and you're over 40, your metabolism is not broken. You just need a strategy that works for your body now. Join my 3-day metabolic kickstart. It's a fast, focused way to get your energy up, inflammation down, and fat loss moving. You'll also get a metabolic mapping call for free. That's a one-on-one call with me to figure out exactly what your body needs next. Grab your spot at the link in the show notes. Everywhere you look right now, you cannot escape it. Instagram, the news, hell, celebrity news, women in the supermarket line. You cannot escape discussions about GLP-1s, the medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, and now you'll hear the term semaglutide because that's the active ingredient in those drugs. And so some compounding pharmacies will sell a version, kind of an off-label version of the drug. Different doctors, plastic surgeons, even online kind of health and wellness websites are mailing the drug to women. So you cannot escape the conversation and the issue of this promise of easy and fast weight loss using the drugs. Probably, if you are hearing my voice right now, you have either tried it yourself or you know someone in your family or a friend who has tried the drug. But here's the question that we need to ask, specifically as women over 40, over 50, some of you even over 60. Are the drugs really a tool, or are they just the latest shiny kind of sparkly trend that's going to leave us right back where we started? And that's what I want to talk about today. But I want to be super clear up front. I am not here to bash women who have tried these medications. I am not even going to tell you that I am anti these medications or against these drugs. And I am definitely not here to shame anyone who has used them or considered or is considering using them. Some of my own clients have been on these drugs. And so I've seen firsthand what happens, the good, the bad, and the kind of, I'll call it the messy in between. I've had women come to work with me in my 12-week metabolic program who took GLP-1s and literally told me they saw zero results. They didn't lose any weight, nothing changed for them, whether that be, the weight itself, or nothing changed for them in terms of their hunger, their appetite, nothing changed for them as they described it, like in terms of their obsession with food, being able to, not get away from thinking about food all the time. Some of them have told me that. I've had other women who came to me and told me that they've lost a little bit of weight using the GLP-1s. But most of what I hear, no matter what the result is, women tell me that they are scared of what will happen as a result of taking the medication, and or a result what will happen when they get off of the medication. Okay, because deep down they knew that they didn't actually know how to eat in a way that was healthy, that fueled them. And they definitely didn't know how to maintain the loss if they were able to get the weight off. Let's say the drug did work and they lost all this weight. They were afraid of what would happen when they went off because they didn't know how to maintain that loss, right? And what scared them even more is realizing that while the scale was going down, so was their muscle mass. Their bodies did not look as healthy and strong. They looked more depleted. That's the word that I would use to describe how they explained to me what their fear was. And so muscle mass, we know, right? That drives your metabolism. It's what gives you tone. It's what keeps you aging well. So when you're losing muscle mass, you are really compromising the aging process for yourself. Now, the encouraging part about all of this is some of those same women Once they worked with me, they were able to rebuild in a way that gave them exactly what they were looking for. Healthy, better looking, sustainable results. Okay. Not just a number on the scale, but energy and confidence and muscle mass and strength. So, in a way that also those results stuck with them. They didn't just go back to square one after they left working with me. Now, I've also had women who told me, look, the GLP-1 really did help cut my appetite, and that's true. I already talked a little bit about that. It can take that constant edge off, but here's the difference. Because those women were working with me, they learned how to fuel their bodies. They learned how to build muscle. They were actually able to titrate down and get off of the medication a lot faster than if they ever would have going it alone. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And let me just hit pause for a second. If I feel distracted in the last 10 seconds or so, that's because my puppy Gunner has gotten something off the bottom shelf, and I'm going to let him just go ahead and do that. But if you hear noise, that's what's going on in the background. Lord help us. Okay. So, I just talked about how the women who were on the GLP-1s who did find benefit from it, they were able to get off of those drugs a lot faster as they worked with us than they would have if they'd have been going it on their own. So I also need to say this, and this is part of the business that I'll just say it honestly makes me want to puke or throw my phone against the wall or whatever on some days. There's this whole fad out there right now of coaches, health coaches, weight loss coaches, whatever, and influencers. That's the other big group who are either using GLP-1s themselves, and that's kind of their new marketing angle, or they're not admitting that they're using it, and they are, which is even worse, or they're, like I said, they're using it and they're using it as a marketing angle. They're like, if you're on GLP-1, here, I created, a program for you. That just bothers me. What bothers me even more though is everyone seems to be suddenly like this expert in GLP-1s, and they're using it in some way. And there are some huge influencers doing this right now, talking about them and, acting like they're physicians and experts on this or pharmacists, and they're not. So there's always this like angle that somebody's jumped on, and they're pretending to be an expert just because they, can talk about the latest drug. I'm not going to talk from a physician standpoint or a pharmaceutical standpoint. All of that is gross to me. And it's not about the health of women. It's not about helping people get long-term transformation. It's about getting clicks and likes and, just selling programs to jump on the GLP-1 trend. And I freaking hate that because this space, this women's health, midlife health for women specifically, deserves so much more than gimmicks. We're not 20 years old anymore. We're not chasing the latest detox tea. And so it's disgusting to me when people who have huge platforms and know they have a lot of impact are just kind of taking, like I said, a marketing angle. We are women in our 40s, 50s, 60s. We have careers and families and responsibilities, and we have lives that deserve real solutions, not quick fixes that just collapse, in a moment after you stop using it. So here's how I want you to think about this, okay? Let me kind of give you an analogy to think about. If your house has a leaky roof, you can set a bucket right under that drip, right? Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of a fix, right? It's a quick thing that you can do to stop the water from flooding your living room or wherever the leak is, right? But if you don't actually repair the roof, you're going to be putting down buckets over and over and over for the rest of your life under the leak. GLP-1s can be that bucket. They might catch, I'm stretching this analogy, they might catch some of the overflow, if you will, of hunger, and they might even help you lose a few pounds. But if you don't fix the roof, your metabolism, your muscle mass, your nutrition, your stress, your sleep, all of that you're going to continue to scramble and struggle. And worse, the house, your body underneath, is rotting while you're chasing those drip buckets. So here's where I land on the GLP-1 issue. They are not the villain. For some women, they can be a very useful tool, especially in the short term, but they are not, and they will never be the foundation of health. If you tried them and you didn't get results, it's not that you're broken, okay? If you're on them and you're scared about what happens when you stop, that's your signal to build the foundation now to fix the root issue. And if you're watching the endless influencer posts and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should jump on this too, pause and please ask yourself, am I looking for a bucket? Or am I really ready to fix my leaky roof? Because that's what really leads to transformation. The other just keeps you stuck in the same freaking cycle that you've been living in. So that's a question I get all the time. That's my take on it. It's not sponsored, it's not hyped, it's not about me chasing a trend. It's just to give you some of my real life experience with real women just like you who I have coached. So take that question with you and think about it. Tool or trend? And most importantly, what foundation are you building underneath? With or without the shot? You should be asking yourself that. So thank you for being here with me. As always, I really appreciate your time, and I will see you right back here next time.